Hi there, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Let's see. All right, I think everything is ready to go here. All right, so hello, Kim. Hi, Vivian. Thank you very much. The day was a bit stressful yesterday, but I'm going to do a redo on my birthday, and I'll do it tomorrow. Have a birthday tomorrow, and that works just fine. Yesterday was it didn't turn out the way that I had planned, but that's life, so it's okay. Hi, Estella. Hi, Mina. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Kendale. Thank you. Thanks, Cynthia. Hi, Terry. Let's see. Hi, Lisa. Hi, June. All right. Hi there, Barbara. Hi, Rhonda. Okay. Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody, for the birthday wishes, the well wishes for the birthday. Frazzled again today, but that's all right. Just lots going on right now. I'm getting into the coaching season for Little League, and that's taking a lot of my time and energy as well. So I have to come back to Woodburning here and try to refocus. So that's what we're going to do tonight. As far as what we did last, it's been 2 weeks ago now. We went ahead and started with the eyes and got those in place. We kind of broke those down into simple steps and then started really working on these topo zones. So when we're looking at our reference photo here, you can see that we chunked in some of these nice zones, and that's what we were following, trying to make sure that we match up our zones, because that's going to be your facial structure and all of that. So these zones are very important to get in place, and then we can come back through, and then we filled in some of the area in between the zones and got the direction of the fur going in place. Then we kind of went back and did a few more layers in the dark areas, and we're just going to keep moving on. I think his fur right now is a little bit kind of maybe coarse and scratchy, but that's okay. We might just leave that right now and keep moving on. Once we get most everything in place, then that's a great time to kind of go back and really push and pull, get those darks dark enough, make sure we have our lights and all that. So we will start getting into, hopefully tonight, some of the longer hair of the mane is my plan. And I know I've been using the Versatool for most of this. I might kind of branch out and try some of either the Coalwood or the razor tip, just to show you how to create some longer style of fur with those as well. And that's always fun. Awesome. Hi, Mellow Yellow. Hey, Rick. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'll just get into the wood burning zone here, and we'll be doing great. Let's see. Terry, this is, I'm pretty sure it's like 11 by 13 is about the approximate size. So do we have any questions on what we did a couple weeks ago before we jump in and just start burning? Might move me again. We can probably start blocking in some of maybe these darker sections in here. I think that'll be pretty fun. and start working on a little bit of the framework around the face. Okay. When we're working on shorter fur like this, I like to use, I love to use the Versatool because I can be very controlled and detailed in these areas. Once we get outside of that short fur, we start getting into the longer fur, the Versatool doesn't really shine as well in that regards because it can't operate at a higher temperature as compared to the wire tip burners. So with the wire tip burners, they operate a little bit higher temp, and we can block in some of these dark, longer zones a little bit easier. So I think I might switch around and kind of play around with some of our different options. Oh, here. I'm just going to use a scrap piece of wood here. Let's see, Kendale, you did a burning of your dog's face and used the topography advice you gave, and it really helped. Awesome. That's great. Let's see, Lisa has a question. You attempted to use the topo zones in your flower that you messed up big time. So bad that it's in the sand-off pile. Oh dear. The flower was a dahlia and it was just too dark on each petal. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you shared a picture of that on Mighty Networks, but if you want to share that, we can take a look and see maybe where things went astray and find the better, maybe just take a look at it and see if we can help out with that. So this is the coal wood. It is the spoon shader tip, and I am going to practice on my little square piece of wood. I did bend it since the last time you guys saw me work. It was much flatter, and this is a better hand position. So let's go ahead and see if we can't start blocking in some of the longer bits of fur. Oh, Lisa, you didn't. Okay. Well, it's if you want to, reach out and send that to me, it's up to you. And we can maybe see where things went awry. But that's okay. That happens for sure. It's always, I think, a good learning opportunity to kind of break down what you did maybe wrong in your book and see how to move forward in the future. Hi, White Wolf. Hi, Truth Seeker. Thanks for being here. We are going to start blocking in some of the longer fur, and the Versatool is great for many things. Longer fur, you can definitely create it. It's just going to take a long time. So I'm going to work here with the coal wood, and we are going to be using the spoon shader at a level 6 and see where we are at with that. Give it a minute. And let's maybe go to a 7. I think I was actually using this on an 8 the last time we were working. Hey, there we go. This looks like a fairly decent place to start. Okay. Come on over. I'll readjust the camera now that we're not messing with points. Okay, I'm going to start right up in here. It's a really nice dark section. I'm going to blow on that point just a little bit to make sure it didn't superheat while I was messing with the camera. Okay, so even though this entire section here is quite dark, I'm not going to just sit here and block it in. I think that generally it looks pretty dull and flat, so I'm still going to be putting in our fur strokes And these ones are going to be a little bit longer. I'm not going to do the short little baby fur strokes. And this is going to be lots of layers again whenever we're working with fur. And at the edge of those zones, I want to make sure that they stay pretty jaggedy. That way I can blend them into the shorter fur later. Kind of looks like a little crown there, doesn't it? And I just got this Coalwood, I think about 2 weeks ago. So I'm still trying to learn how to burn with this. But this spoon shader's point is quite nice. Enjoy your tea, Barbara. Barbara, you like this Coalwood point as well. Cool. So Lisa says, what you're doing there is what I did on the flower in the center of each petal, and it just looked too ugly. Ah, okay. Yeah, right now it looks like we're maybe messing this up. But remember, layers, layers, layers. We're going to blend this out and work a little bit more on these layers. This is, I'm not going as dark as I will eventually. I'm just starting to get some of the general zones in place here. And there is a balance of kind of trying to speed up a burning and go on dark quickly versus maybe playing it safe and building up in layers. Each one has their benefit. If I have a really big project and I'm too cautious, sometimes it's going to take me forever to get something done. Over the years, I've been able to burn faster, just have maybe a little bit more confidence, knowing that, yeah, this is definitely an ugly duckling stage right here. No doubt about it. But we only have put in one layer. I know I'm going to come back and continue to build the layers and smooth it out and blend it. Okay. So there's lots of these little jaggedy hairs that create an overhanging shadow. So I'm going to try to put those in. Now remember, I cannot burn the light hairs. I need to burn the darkness around those light hairs. So that's what I'm trying to do now. And these wire tip burners are a great way to get those darks set in a little bit more quickly. The solid point burners, you can totally do that. It just is going to take a little bit longer to get those dark values. Just a little bit more patience. White Wolf, you could see the ground yesterday. Now you have 4 inches of snow. Oh boy. Yeah, all of our snow is going quickly. So I'm actually quite envious that you have snow. I think that's great. We should have 4 to 5 feet of snow right now, and we can see the ground, which is scary for wildfires. Lisa, you love his cute little mohawk. Thanks. Yeah, the Coalwood, it's just a little bit different than what I'm used to, but it feels comfortable in the hand. It's not too hot. It's a little toasty, but not bad. I've had some of the other razor tip burners that get quite a bit hotter. This one is comfortable. I'm just It's like operator error right now, trying to figure out how to burn with this, but it's working well. I like this point for creating fur. Okay. Trying to look at where we're going. And just to let you know, I am on about a 7.5 temperature wise. This is comfortable to work with. I feel like I have control over the burner. It's not going to do those flash hot spots that I don't like with wire tip burners. This one seems nice and stable. I'm enjoying this. Okay, now I'm starting to pull a few of those lighter strokes in. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Dropped the connection for some reason, but we're back. Okay, Mina, you had a question. Does the point dent the wood because it's wire? It certainly could if you press down hard. It has a much sharper point edge than the Versatool. I think as long as you're not pressing down too hard, it should be fine. All right, we're going to block in a little bit here on the ear. I'm really having trouble speaking today. Holy cow. Once again, I cannot burn the little white hairs, so I'm blocking in the chunks of dark around those white hairs. So I do plan on having a black background around this fella eventually. Ooh, see that got a little bit hot. But that's okay, I'm in the dark area. And I'm gonna start working on forming the outer edges of the cat as we go too. And even though I have a black background, I'm not going to do a heavy outline around this. I still want to maintain those fur strokes. Then we can tie all that into the black background later. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why we keep dropping the connection. Hey hun, would you double check that the kids aren't doing anything crazy with the internet?
Okay.
Please, thank you. Let's see, Kendale, you're saying the change in fur direction always messes with you. You have a hard time blending it. Gotcha. If you're having a hard time blending the fur, I would strongly recommend that the first time that you put fur strokes in, you keep your strokes very light to begin with. Because if they get off, if you don't put them in quite right the first time, you can adjust them later. But if you try to put the fur strokes in quite dark, it can be difficult to modify them later. So start out a little bit lighter and then work up to that. I need to scooch up a little bit more. Okay. All right. And this is kind of a difficult angle for me here. I'll probably need to turn the wood on that eventually. Hi, Linda. Did you lose audio? So I'm burning quite light, trying to roughly block in the crazy poof at the top. Just a light sketch, almost laying this in for the future. And if you're a little bit unsure on how to do the lighter hairs, you can go back in with a Dremel tool or even an awl and kind of scratch those out. He does look like he has a mohawk, huh? Kind of need to improvise here a little bit. So it is definitely indenting the wood a bit more, Mina. Depending on how I hold it, it does kind of scratch a little bit more. And again, I think that's just operator error as far as trying to learn how to hold this. Okay. We'll deploy the rest of our pattern for this side. Yeah, Lisa, it does look like a mohawk with a crown. He's got some style. Whenever you have fur like this set against a black background, make it bigger and poofier than you think it should be. You can always bring that darkness in, but it's hard to take the light out into the darkness if you kind of encroach. And then he's going to have a little bit of a buzz cut, and that's not really what I'm after right now. You could certainly do that if you wanted to, though. So shorter first strokes on those little ears, longer ones in the mane. White Wolf, you like to do the whiskers with a Dremel tool and then, okay, and then use the Dremel tool to take out the line. Cool. That's awesome, Vivian. He does look like a little supermodel. All right, so we also have a nice framing of the face around here, and just really working on those shorter strokes. And then we transition into the longer wispy hairs over here. Okay, I'm trying to see where we are. This is getting a little bit toasty. I think that Colewood says that you shouldn't run any of these on a level 8 or higher for more than maybe 20 or 30 minutes. I think it's what it says in the pamphlet. Just let it set and rest for a bit. It's nice though that I don't have to use the bean bag like I do with the Versatool. This is pretty ergonomically friendly. Okay, then we have lots of floof out here. Lisa, you usually run the coal wood at a 5 to 7. Cool. Alrighty, I'm looking for any other big zones or chunks to start putting in. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look here and see where we're at. He's definitely got some stylized hair going on. I have a few more zones that I could put in this area. Just to start. And this is our initial sketch as we're trying to figure out where these zones are, take a look at the direction of the fur, and just start. A lot of times that can be the most difficult thing, is knowing how to jump in and tackle something like this. Definitely just break it down, find those zones, and focus on the direction of the fur. Okay. So there we go. He's rocking it for sure. And next we can start building up our layers. Again, we're going to go back into these dark zones and add some more layers and just start filling those out. Let's see. Yes, Mellow Yellow. The coal wood does have a spoon shader with the shorter post. And that might be something that we could kind of explore with as well. It is called the Small Heavy Shader Tip. And it is very similar to the one that we've been using, and I think it does operate better at a lower temperature. So let's go ahead and we can try that. Let me let the coal wood kind of cool down a little bit before I switch it out, and we will try the Small Heavy Duty Shader Point. It does have the shorter post, but that's a great idea and something that we can take a look at. Currently, while it's cooling down, I'm going to use the Versatool, and we can start. Oh, come on, cords. Doing a little more work in here. And go back over our dark areas, enriching them with some more layers. Just gotta take your time and definitely move the burner slower. But it'll just take a couple minutes for that coal wood to cool down. And we'll switch that out. Yeah, we can zoom in. Whee. And I can move down for just a bit. So Lisa, you're saying that you have the one with the shorter post. Okay, well we will switch over to that here in just a few minutes. It's definitely darker, kind of at the base here. And then once you start getting your darks kind of where you want them, then we can continue adding those layers and build up our midtones just by following those nice little short strokes. Lisa is asking, when you darken, are you still leaving open spaces between the first strokes? You tend to make it solid. Yeah, I still want to leave a little bit of value change in there. I don't usually block it completely in. Sometimes with multiple layers that happens on its own. But for the most part, yeah, I'm still leaving kind of gaps of different values in there. Now let's see, we can get up here and do some of these fun little areas too. All pretty short strokes up in here. They're kind of going every little way, but okay. Okay. Wait, Wolf, you're wondering if you got a creative wood burner at Michael's and to see if the Coalwood tips would fit on it. The Coalwood tips have a very specific plug-in, whereas like if you got a solid point burner like this from Michael's, which is usually what you get from Michael's unless they have something new now. These is called a solid point, and those just screw in. They have threads on them, whereas the Coalwood has this very unique post. So this is a wire tip burner, and this is a solid point burner, and for the most part they don't interchange. Let's see. Hi, Connie. All right, let's see if that Coalwood is manageable now. Alrighty, so we are going now with the heavy duty spoon shader. Okay, and we just take it, there's that notch there and a notch here, and we line those up. It slides right in. Okay. So we're gonna go down to a 5. Hi, Steve. I do have the little easy puller thing. I find that when I use the easy puller, the points go flying. So I'm using my hands to replace and put those in just after they cool down. Alrighty. So we're going to be working on a level 5. Our little scratch board. Hi, Tracy. Blink, blink. Okay, I'm up to a level 6. And let's see what a level 7 does. that is too much. So a 6 seems to work pretty good. But I see that the longer it warms up, the hotter it gets, kind of. All right, I'm going to try this on a level 6. Ooh. And I don't know where to put Minisa. I'm out of the way. Maybe there. All right, I'm going to start working right up here again. And continue adding more fur strokes. Love putting in these dark values, and then they fade out into some of the other lighter fur. So White Wolf, you're using the Walnut Hollow Creative Wood Burner. Okay, I think I have one of those. I don't know if I have it upstairs, but those I think are more like the razor tip and not quite like the coal wood. I think if you want to use it like a coal wood with a razor tip, you need an adapter between the pens. Because let's see, to show you really quick, the razor tip has like a feminine, like a female port, and the coal wood has a male port when they plug into their cord. So I cannot take a razor tip pen right here. I cannot take that razor tip pen and plug it into a coal wood cord. You need a little adapter. It's a little coupling that goes in between there to take razor tip pens to work with coal wood and vice versa. But I'm pretty sure that the Walnut Hollow Creative Wire Tip Burner has their own special tools. Okay, I might zoom out a little bit. Nope, wrong way. Okay, so we are building up the lovely darks in here. And he has a little bit more of a wave to that fur, so I'm going to start trying to put in some wavy strokes as well. See how that turns out. Another thing that I find with the wire tip burners is it tends to get more of like a scratchy, coarser, more textured burn, whereas the Versatool is a little softer. The points with the wire tip are a little bit more scratchy, but we can rock this point down and start doing some side shading in here, and that will help to soften the bristle brush appearance. Whenever we're working with realism, we need a lovely balance of texture and shading. So over here you can see I'm starting to put in a little bit of shading, and it's just softening the appearance a little bit. So I'm holding the point a little flatter. This point would be helpful to bend a little bit too, I think. And for any beginners, if you aren't quite sure what the difference is between texture and shading, texture is, you know, a lot of sharp line work, kind of like this. This is going to create a very textured appearance versus rocking that point down and using the side of it. It's going to create a much softer appearance. So when you're wood burning fur, I think it's great to have a combo of both texture and shading. If it's all shaded, you kind of lose some of those lovely little highlights in there. It can get a little bit flat if it's all shaded. If it's all texture, you're not going to have the depth that you could if you kind of combine them. Hi Elizabeth, you're asking would I prefer working with the razor tip or the coal wood. It really kind of depends on what I'm working on. My go-to tool is the Versatool from Walnut Hollow. They're currently no longer in business, but I've started with this and I really love it. For all of the close-in details here, I like the reliability of the Versatool. As I get farther out into the mane, I'm going to go with a wire tip burner because it burns so much more quickly. And between the coal wood and the razor tip, I would say I think the heat is more consistent with the coal wood. So that's what I'm leaning towards right now. Before we move on and continue working with this small heavy-duty shader, spoon shader, I'm going to bend it and reposition that tip. Let's see. The point that I was working with seems to have a little bit more of an angle to it. This is a little flat. I'm having a hard time getting the position that I want it. And I know that we talked about how to bend these points and kind of modify them. So I'll show how to do that. Making sure it's cooling down. And then, let's see, I'm just gonna grab, sorry Sophie. You can use a rag, a cloth. Okay, I think I'm back. Alrighty. Sorry, I keep dropping the internet. I just want something light, like this is a Kleenex, or you can use a shirt from a cotton shirt, paper towel, something to protect this wire point from the teeth on these needle nose pliers. And you can, I did this earlier and it is a little bit tricky to get everything kind of in the right area, but I just want to make a little, kind of a little blanket around that point. And then I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and bite down on the point. Let me see if I can pull that back. Okay, so you can see where the edge is. I want the edge of my needle nose pliers teeth right at the joint where the two prongs meet the point. And then I am going to just slightly bend downward and then take a look and see if that's enough. I can hold it and see, yeah, that I think just, it was a tiny little adjustment. I think that that'll work better. And this is off and cooled down. But yeah, if I take away the Kleenex, you can see I'll just want the teeth right there on that edge. Because I don't want to bend like that part, I just want to change that joint, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, it's very easy. And I just barely bent it, just a little tiny bit. If you bend too much too fast, you can, definitely break that off. If you go too far, then you have to bend it back. And when you bend metal, it can break. So just a tiny little adjustment. You don't have to use the Kleenex or anything like that. I just don't want to damage this point, and those teeth can do that from the needle nose. Okay. You're welcome, Terry. Yeah, gentle pressure, just nice and easy. And do that when the point is cold. So he's kind of a wild and crazy lion right now. This area here on the burning is quite light. We haven't blended this dark zone down yet, and that's why he's kind of looking wild and crazy. But, you know, we're in the ugly duckling stage, and we're just going to keep moving forward. So here we are again on a level 6. And I can rock the point flatter to start doing some more soft shading. And if I want more texture, I'm going to rock that point up and use the upper edge. Just like the Versatool, trying to find a nice compromise between texture and shading as far as how you hold the point. Starting to pull some of that darkness down and blending it into the shorter fur. You're welcome, Terry. I hope the demo was helpful. That really helped to bend the point. It's it fits my hand much better now. Okay, we're just gonna start putting in some longer strokes. Fill in some of that direction of fur. So this upper part is going to be a lot more soft and fluffy instead of so scratchy.
Do you know where the sauce is? That's on for the shrimp.
It's on the pan.
Is there more?
Okay. Thanks, Kendale. Just practice, and just getting used to the tool seems to be, for me, one of the biggest challenges. Let's see. So going in here, even though I'm adding in quite a bit of shading strokes, I still have some unburned wood in there, because if I shade everything, I'm going to lose, it's going to look flat, really, really flat. And I don't want that flatness. So I'm going to put in a little bit more of just the general long strokes to get the feel of the mane, and then we can start putting in some other values, some more layers to break this up. It's pretty flat right now without pushing the mid-tones. Terry, your dogs are sleeping. Aw. That's very sweet. I think, yeah. Well, Sophie was here laying on the ground. We went for a really big walk again, and she's pretty tuckered. And this is where wood burning the fur kind of more lighter will help, so that I don't get I get the overall flow of the fur, but I can adjust it if I need to. If I make a mistake, some of these lighter areas, you can add more layers and fix. If you really make like a bad directional change with the fur, as long as you start out pretty light, it should be able to be corrected. Okay, not the best lighting there. I'm gonna come this way. Okay. So that's, let's put a little bit more in here too. So far that's pretty flat, but let's go through and start making it more interesting by finding some of our zones and pushing those values darker. So I'm still on a level 6 because I don't want to get those accidental kind of scorches. And we're still looking for some of these inverted V chunks or even V's. And start breaking up the monotony of that fan type hairstyle. Once again, if you guys are interested in purchasing any Coalwood products, I'm now an affiliate with Bearwood's Supply Company, and that's where I got my unit, the Coalwood. I just recently put in an order for some more points to try out, and you can use a discount code with my first name, Minisa, M-I-N-I-S-A, and you can get a little bit of a discount on your products through Bearwood Supply.
Hey, hon.
Hey.
I just noted that our Starlink dish is pointing straight up in the sky. It is not facing the north.
That might be why I'm having troubles with the internet.
That's why, because it is not tuned into a satellite as far as I can tell.
Unless they have a different satellite, if they put in a new one, maybe.
Well, maybe we need to do a diagnostic on the Starlink.
Okay, I'll have to do that after the live stream, probably.
Okay, I'll check that now. Can you do a diagnostic on the Starlink?
Just don't let it.
Yeah. We won't kill it. Because it's pointing straight up in the sky.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
And it typically faces north.
They may put in more satellites. Hello, Chico. Welcome.
Really? Yeah. I have never seen it. I mean, it's facing straight up.
Yeah, I think running just fine.
Tracy, I'm loving the Coalwood.
Awesome.
It's very similar to the razor tip, but I find that the heat is a lot more consistent, and that's one of the big reasons why I struggled with the razor tip. It was just having an inconsistent heat. The razor tip would get super hot and then it wouldn't hold its heat very well. It seemed like it was either too hot or not hot enough all the time, but I'm really liking the Coalwood. I've been tempted to modify this and make it more into a pointy tool, like the shading point with the Versatool, but I don't know. We'll see. I might get two and have one like this and a pointy one. Okay, so we're kind of starting to break up the monotony of the hair just by putting in some darker areas. Okay, and we can come over here a little bit more. So Lisa, you're saying that there's a pointed tip for the coal wood. So let me see. I think I got, what else did I get? I did get this guy here. Let me turn this off and set this down.
I get stuff on that side. I'll keep it here.
Let's see. I got a small round shader, and it does have a little bit more of a point. It doesn't have quite the sharpness of the Versatool, but this is a little bit better. And I think looking at some of those others as well, and I may have got one in the second order. Elizabeth, I got the coal wood burner from Bearwood Supply Company, and then these are just writing points here. Okay, you have that one, Lisa, but it's a shorter stem. Gotcha. Okay. Terry, you got your first tip bent and adjusted. That's awesome. Very good. Yeah, they're quite simple, just a little bit of pressure and you're good to go. Mina, I think it's actually, is it bearwood.com or Bearwood Supply? I don't remember what the email is or address. Okay.
I just pointed straight up. I've never seen that.
Bearwood.com. Okay. I'm back. Mina, you're right. It is bearwood.com. I thought it was something else. Yeah, you got it. You're all over it. Okay. We're back. The internet is just kind of crazy tonight. This does take a little bit to warm up. Not much. Here we go. Alright, I think I'm back, guys. I don't know, something's really crazy. I don't know if there's a download or what. I think I'm back. Oh boy. I don't know, guys. It is Friday the 13th, so who knows why my internet is being so bad. This the coal wood is very nice and smooth. I'm really enjoying it for doing this longer fur. It just is much quicker than the Versatool. Gotcha. Okay, you got it, Mina. Yep. It's Bearwood Supply Company, and the website is bearwood.com. So even in some of the tighter areas here, This is working really well. And I do like the heavy duty, what is it called? The small heavy shader point tip, that's the one I'm using now. I like this better than the longer one because I'm running it like 6 instead of 8. This is easier to handle. It operates more like a pen or a pencil instead of having that longer post. So this is definitely my favorite point so far. Yep, and there it is, bearwood.com. And anytime that we're working with fur, it's all about the layering. Let's see. Lisa's asking about the micro rounded heel tip. It is quite pointy. That might be one of the other ones that I ordered. Tracy, this is the small heavy shader tip. All right, I think once we get more of that mane burned in around the ears, he'll stop looking like he has the little mohawk. Let's see, Elizabeth, you're currently using a $35 unit off Amazon and struggle with heat consistency. Yeah, that's a challenge. I bought a couple of those less expensive burners from Amazon to kind of try out now that the Versatool Walnut Hollow is no longer in business. And I didn't even pay attention, and I got 2 of them without an adjustable temperature, and they were not very good. So I ordered some others to try because I know that some people can't afford the more expensive burners, and I'm trying to find a good alternative to the Versatool for everybody, if that's what you guys are looking for and trying to find a replacement for the Versatool. Yeah, just spending a little bit of time with this point, I'm really getting more comfortable with using it. It was pretty scratchy here at the beginning, but I'm getting the hang of this one. And like I've mentioned in the past, the more I get away from the focal point, such as the eyes, my style definitely loosens up, and I'm not so concerned about burning every single tiny hair. I just want to get kind of the bigger chunks of fur. And that's just kind of me. But if you want to put in every little hair, you totally can. Terry, you say that you like the way that Bearwood names the tips. You say Coalwood has a lot of them with a letter and a number. Yeah, I've noticed that. I think I'm back. Okay. So sorry about the challenges tonight, guys. Yeah, the I noticed on the tubes that they have just some abbreviations here. So it is helpful that they have a little bit better names. Okay. Thanks, Terry. You guys are so fantastic. I appreciate your patience with the technical difficulties. We'll do some troubleshooting and see what's going on. I don't know. Could be Starlink is doing an update for all I know. So Lisa, you got yours from Colwood. Cool. Tracy says that Treeline and Mountain Wood Carvers also use letters and numbers and no names. Yeah, that's got to be kind of frustrating. I like the names as well. Okay, so we're trying to tie in the top of the mane, the mohawk, in with the ears and kind of the face to make it a little bit more grounded and connected. Still getting the habit of blowing on the point. That's okay. When I'm in these tighter areas there, I like to make sure that point's not going to get crazy toasty. Okay. These are just not the best angles for my hand. I know we're going to have to turn this at some point. Vivian, you had a wire tip machine from Amazon and one of the pens melted. That's pretty scary. All right, that's certainly helping with the mohawk. Yeah, with fur, just lots and lots of layers. Continue to build them up, kind of fine tune them, take a step back, see where you need to maybe add some more. We're going to darken up some here and there. If I get an area that, whoops, I didn't mean to burn it that dark. Usually you can kind of blend it out and it will work out. Lisa's asking, what type of watercolor paints do I use? That's a good question. I think I got a set of pan watercolors that should be on my Amazon storefront. Hang on just a second and I will see if I can pull that up and give my hand a little bit of a rest. Let's see if I can find the right. So Amazon.com/shop/Woodburning University. Windsor and Newton. They are on the Amazon store, guys. It's the Windsor and Newton Cotman watercolor paint set, studio set, 24 hole pans is the one that I really like. Thank you, Mina, for the link there. I really like it because you add a little bit of water and can kind of play with the opacity. And it's a nice quality. I mean, Winsor & Newton is a great name in the paint industry. Okay. So let's see about continuing to blend in here. I don't think I've used the Dr. Martin liquid watercolors. I think I have the Dr. Martin inks that I got a very long time ago. I don't think I've even used them. All right, I'm having a hard time getting the angle right on that fur in there. Yeah, this Coalwood is a joy to use. It doesn't hang up and be real scratchy like some of the other points that I've seen, especially with razor tip. And sometimes I have to just kind of sand those down and make them a little bit smoother. But this is nice. Thank you so much, Mina, for that link in there. Glad that the links are showing up. I think I've been seeing them, but maybe not everybody. So his hair is looking really a lot longer on my project than over here, just because I know that I can always take this black background and bring it inward later. But I want that room so I don't make it look like he's just had a haircut. And every time that I'm putting the point down on the wood, I'm still following that airplane mode that we've talked about over the years. It just helps eliminate those stop spots. So glide in, burn, and glide out. So you want to just use the burner while it's in motion. He's looking pretty fluffy, guys. Thanks, Mina, for the reminder to definitely subscribe and like if you haven't already. If you're new here, click the notification bell so that you don't miss when I go live. It's usually every Friday night, but with the spring craziness, I may have to modify my schedule here or there by a day or two. So Make sure that you are subscribed, and then you won't miss when we go live. Elizabeth is asking if I'm just touching with the tip of the spoon. Yeah, for the most part. The more texture, I'm going to use the very upper part of that. The more shading, I'm going to rock it down a little bit. So let's see if I can get a decent angle for you. Maybe like that. So texture is going to be that upper part. Shading is going to be rocked down a little bit more. And then you could put the whole thing on the wood and burn like that too. But for the most part, I'm going to adjust the angle from, you know, fine details, sharp lines, to more softer shading. And then you could even do full side shading if you're looking for like black backgrounds or that sort of thing. But generally, I like to just use the upper part, kind of like you would a pencil. And then we can slow down and build up our darker areas a little more. So you can see I'm just really burning more in chunks, fur chunks, instead of individual hairs. I think if you like, oh my gosh, I have to burn around every little hair and fur, it's going to be kind of overwhelming. So even if you maybe need to squint your eyes a little bit, whatever it takes to see the chunks of fur, that's what you really need to focus on, is those chunks. You can always come back in and burn around some of those to get some of the more wispy strands, or you can scratch them in with a Dremel. That's totally fine. Just really try to focus on the chunks and the direction of the fur. Thank you for the reminder, Mina. She's saying that if you're not a member yet, you can unlock the full potential of your creative journey by joining the Bear Den at the link she has there. It's our exclusive members only community. Thank you so much. Yep. You get access to all kinds of past projects, discounts, patterns included for free, great community, you get monthly challenges. Just a fantastic place to be. So Lisa, you're saying that the tip that I'm using is not the one you have. It's tapered to a point and bought that way. Ah, okay. Yeah, I know I just ordered some more because I was playing around with this and I'm thinking, boy, I don't know if this is what I want. I'm loving this for fur. It's like the more I'm using it, the more I'm loving it. Just getting used to how it handles. This is definitely one of my new favorite points for fur. The small, heavy shader. Some of the names are very similar, so I'm really trying to make sure that I get the names down right. Small, heavy shader. Yeah, I'm not having to think so much as far as whether I want more texture or shading. I'm able to kind of manipulate that on the fly like I do with the Versatool, and that's kind of a time saver for me. Steve, you say with the Coalwood, I'm going to need a few extra corks for the handle. That is good to know. Okay. Do they kind of just break down, wear down, and crumble? Or what's kind of the issue with that, Steve? Because I did not order any replacement corks yet. Terry, you got 4 out of the 5 tips bent. Just busted the 5th one. Oh no. You had a feeling you were overdoing it, but that gives you the chance to order the adapter and 2 of the tips. That one that you broke, Terry, was that an older point? Is that one that you may have had for a long time, or? Yeah, it just took just a little bit of pressure, and that is definitely a risk that that can occur. I've never broken one by bending it, and I'm sorry that you broke one of yours. See, Lisa, you've had your Coalwood for about 6 years, and you're needing to replace one. So it sounds like they last probably a good long while, which is good to hear. Okay, what else do we have? I'm really liking that ear. It's very cute. I can probably burn around and get some more of those delicate little wispy hairs in here too. So Steve, the corks wear out, and the more you use it, they kind of break apart. Okay. That would make sense. I've had some of those rubber guards on the Versatool break and come off as well. I've had to tape them. But those were some of the ones I got a long time ago. I'm back. This might be a record, guys, for tiny outages during the live stream. You have quite a few shaders. Well, that's good to know, Terry. Yeah, I'm sorry that one of them broke. And sometimes they might not have as strong of a joining or an alloy or something like that. That's a possibility as well. Well, it's been such a nice time spending with you guys. Definitely getting more relaxed as we continue to work on this project. Stress is no fun, but wood burning sure is, and it's a great way to de-stress. So I'm going to keep working my layers a little bit darker in here. And this is working really well on a 6. I feel like I have good control over the burner, and it's not kind of getting hot spots and all that. Thanks, Mina. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the reminder that you can get so many patterns over at Woodburning University. I think we have well over 500 patterns on there, all of different skill levels. And the coolest thing is you can create a wood burning of your art and then sell your finished project if you like. So many places that offer patterns don't allow you to do that, and we roll a little bit differently there at Woodburning University. And so many fun projects there. Lisa, yep, you were right between 5 and 7. That's a perfect temperature. Yes, Barbara and Tracy. It is so nice to just sit and wood burn. That's something that I really wanted to do yesterday for my birthday, was just sit and, burn or paint or something with art and go for a walk. And it turns out that none of those really happened. So I had other little emergencies show up, and then emergencies more today. So tomorrow is my makeup birthday. tomorrow's my husband's birthday. So we just kind of, we're 2 days apart. So we just do like 3-day birthday celebration and call it good. Steve, you will wrap the cork portion with green cloth finger tape. Cool. Very good. Thanks, Mina. Yeah, just, you know, life kind of can hit you out of nowhere sometimes, and it's about what yesterday was. But everything's okay. That ear is giving me problems. I'm going to reshape this whole ear. It's going to be maybe too big, but I'm totally reshaping this ear. Yeah, that's a little bit big. I think it's my first strokes that are going crazy. Yep, definitely having problems with this ear. Whoop, whoop, there we go. Yeah, we'll try to fix it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's the funniest thing that we're just 2 days apart on our birthdays. All right. That ear needs some work. I'll try to figure it out later. Alrighty, so let's see. We are about 30 minutes left of class. Let's take a little zoom out. I'm going to move me again. Whee! And I think I want to start putting in some more blending from the mane to the face. Lisa, my husband, is a little older than I am. I'm kind of wanting to take a break from the Coalwood and put some of this stuff in with the Versatool, just because I'm a little bit more comfortable with that one. Oh boy. So White Wolf, oh wow, you shake quite a bit. But burning is therapeutic and it stops. That's amazing. That's really good to know. And I'm glad that that's working for you. I know sometimes if I have coffee first thing in the morning, I can get real shaky as well. If I exercise or lift weights, I get real shaky. So I have to kind of time that so I'm not doing a big workout or coffee and then trying to burn, especially eyes that I have problems with. Okay, so trying to get this blended. This is not the best angle, but I'm just gonna go for it. And I think we're still focused. There we are. Big cats are one of my favorite subjects to burn. They're just so elegant and just beautiful to look at. I love all the different zones and the way that the fur just changes direction, and they're very dynamic, even when just sitting there looking at the camera. They're just so dynamic and beautiful. One of my favorite subjects to burn. I've done a lot of big cat burnings, generally more lions. I've done a few tiger burnings. I don't think I've ever done a burning of a leopard. That'd be fun. Done quite a few mountain lion wood burnings as well. Some lynx and bobcat, those are fun. They have big puffy feet. Any questions as we're moving into the last 30 minutes of the class? I'll probably continue to refine and massage what we have going on here. Now that we have grounded his mohawk down into the face, that's helping. We also tied it into the ears so it's not quite so crazy. And I'll continue to do that and pull some fluff, darken this section here to make it look a little bit more natural. And just do a little bit of blending, massaging to get this area looking nice and soft and fluffy. So really trying to blend some of these topo zones slightly. I don't want to blend them so much that I lose that structure, but I want a little more of a gentle transition here. And some of this fur is so short, it's almost like a little stippling kind of a method. And I can see some of these zones aren't maybe quite as dark as they need to be, so I'll go back and touch them up, give them a little bit more time and attention. And this is where I love the control with the Versatool and that fine little point that's very soft and well rounded. It doesn't scratch and dig in, but it takes a lot longer to burn. And just need to be more patient. Very great advice in the chat there, guys. Yeah, wood burning is so therapeutic. It's not something that you can create very quickly. It takes patience and it kind of slows your mind down, and you get into, I find it just a lovely little, I think they call it like a flow state, where you're just almost kind of become one with your art and the creation of it. I'm taking a lot of these big white sections and adding in some gentle fur strokes so that the white is still peeking through, but it's not like a big chunk of unburned area. Burning some more of those lighter mid-tones to blend everything together. So on this project, I've not really jumped around a whole lot. I went ahead and started with the eyes and then expanded out from there. Got a lot of that nice face structure done a couple weeks ago. And then today we're all about the mane, getting that started, and then just taking some time to go back and fine tune and blend some of the areas that we already did. I find sometimes if I get too far ahead of myself, then it takes a lot to go back and refine everything. So block in an area, kind of get it going. You can block in another area and then go back if you want and fine tune. Taking a step back, seeing if you need other areas that really stand out. So right now, these ridges and bumps there really stand out to me as maybe kind of unfinished. They just jump off the wood. So I'm gonna smooth those and blend them out a little more. Just soften some of these transitions between the zones. There, that doesn't jump out near as much as it did. Okay. So that's a little bit more true to kind of the angle of this fella. Alrighty. So I think I might start coming down and we can, let me just take a look. Let's take a step back and see where we're at on the big picture. Let's refocus. Okay, that's looking pretty good so far. I like, one of the things that I really enjoy doing is creating this framework around the face next. These darks are going to push back, and that's going to cause the chin and the muzzle to pull forward. So this is a very important step next that I like to do before I start working on much of the muzzle. I need a way to push the rest of the lion back before I burn the muzzle. So I'll probably use the the coral wood for that, and we can go in and put some of this stuff in fairly quickly and block in the framework of the face. Alrighty. So I'll try to zoom in to where you can see more of that, but if I need to zoom in more, let me know. Okay. You're welcome, Truth Seeker. We have a little bit of time here, so I'm just going to block in around the face, and that will be a great place to set us up for next week. And yeah, I'll be here next week. Oh, that's what I'm doing. So I'm still going to be working with the small, heavy shader tip on a level 6, and we'll see how that goes. All right, looking for larger chunks of dark, and then also trying to get the direction of the fur going. And it's kind of crazy in here. Have lots of V shapes. Instead of just marching along here and putting in kind of a solid jagged border, jagged border, jagged border to block that in, I'm going to really look for the large chunks of darkness. Let's see, that's right down here. And see which way they're going. And you can do a little bit of skip burning in here if you want to avoid those whiskers. Oh, thanks, guys. Yep, I love all the comments there. Very personal and touching. And it's amazing what art can do. It's so, like you say, it's so therapeutic and helps to bring peace. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's see. Terry's asking, after working on this tonight, does it bother you not to touch it again until next Friday? Absolutely. Yeah, it pretty well drives me crazy. Because I'm thinking about all of the stuff that I could be, oh, I need to fine tune this or fix that. I could get ahead if I just burned here or there. But I know that you guys like to watch, I know, a lot more of the in-depth steps. So I have stacks of wood everywhere, and I just turn everything so it can't be seen, more specifically so it doesn't get any sun on it, or the cats don't fling their muddy little feet and get mud on it. So all of my wood burnings that are in process or otherwise are kind of sandwiched front to front, or in a way that I can't see them. So that helps that I'm not staring at them over the week. And then I start, I'm able to work on other projects as well. Lisa, the Bear Den community on Mighty Networks is so fantastic. I love jumping on there and seeing all the projects that you guys are doing and the questions. And I love how you guys come together and help answer each other's questions and support one another. It's really such a special community that we're growing, and love having everybody there. And then getting to see everybody here on the Friday nights. It's just such a special thing. Alrighty, so even with just a few strokes here, I'm starting to delineate the structure of the face. Again, with these white whiskers here, I'm not going to be burning really far with each and every one. I'm not going to outline each and every one. I want to maintain space and distance away from those lovely white whiskers, because I can always bring the darkness up, but I can't really take those lights down unless I use a Dremel tool or something of that kind of a method. Terry, you really wanted to see me burn the eyes on this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the one from a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Mina, you're just amazing in so many ways, and I really appreciate you being here. And I know sometimes you're not home, or you're across the world or whatever, and you've always been here. And we appreciate you so much. It just doesn't seem right to have a live stream without Miss Mina. lightly putting in some of these big sections of fur so I can see them later. Plus throwing in a little bit of general fur texture. I'm not going to overwhelm myself with it. This is just that nice little blocking in stage that we start with. It's like your underpainting or your initial sketch. This allows me to make variations, fluctuations if I need to. But if I come in here and I burn each and every single little hair and I do something wrong, it's like, eesh, it's really difficult to kind of fix that. So light sketches as we come around here, and then you just add layers to kind of keep defining everything. Oh, that's on my screen. Huh. You are most welcome, Mina. We just appreciate all that you do, and you're such a wonderful, wonderful soul, and we really appreciate you. And you're so good with words. Oh my gosh. I love reading everything that you write. You're so well spoken. Ah, Lisa, that's a good question. As far as how I met Mina. And Mina, if you want to, you know, maybe tell your side of how we kind of met, and I can tell my version as well. I know it seems like Mina has just always been a big part of Woodburning University, and yeah, we've not met in person yet, but I remember when you first joined one of the live streams years ago, you had an unusual spelling to your name, and you know, I said hi and I knew I wasn't quite pronouncing your name right, and then you mentioned that people would call you Mina. And then I know the next time you came on the live stream and I saw your name in the chat, and I remembered, you know, I know that I can't really pronounce your name very right, so I just called you Mina. And I think after that we kind of hit it off and just kept, you were always there in the live streams. And yeah, and then just was talking with you a whole bunch as a sounding board for Woodburning University, and you were a big part of helping me to run through, you know, run these ideas by you, and you had just a fantastic perspective on things that was a really big help in creating Woodburning University. So that's kind of my, in a nutshell, from my perspective. But yeah, we've not met yet in person, and would love to do that. Yes, that's right. Yep. And I did ask you to be a moderator to help with the chat. We're having some crazy things going on with the chat, and you were just very willing to help out and assist. And it's just been fantastic to get to know you and everybody else here. It's more like a family than fellow artists. And that's part of our wonderful community. Yep, Vivian, we definitely need an in-person event. Yep, we've talked on the phone, we've had video conferences, but not yet in person. We've got to change that. Alrighty, so I kind of just forgot about the whiskers on that side. I have a feeling we'll just scratch them in, so I'll just start putting some of these in here too. Wow, a couple minutes left here, guys. Any questions as we're kind of wrapping this up? His chin is a little bit full. Makes his face look long, but that's because I want to slowly start sneaking up on this beard, and we'll pull the darkness up into those little hairs. And that's kind of where we'll start next week, is really start defining his face shape. Where am I? Oh. That's why I love these red guidelines, because it's can be quite easy to get lost in the fur patterns. Terry, yeah, that just giving him a little bit of face structure really helps. You can already start to see that muzzle coming forward, and then we're just going to push all of this area here darker, and that just makes that amazing three-dimensional appearance where darks push back and lights pull forward. I kind of got distracted talking and I'm not putting in zones, but that's okay. We're burning light. This is our sketch, and we can just keep working on it. It's been an honor for me as well, Mina. Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. We're just kind of in the last little tidbits here as we... Aw, thank you, Mina. And I can, sometimes if there's not many zones, you can just start putting in some V structures or some inverted V's, and that can break up the monotony of the fur in areas. And after you get your initial sketch, we can slowly start darkening things up, still on a level 6, and layers and layers and layers. So we have kind of a bigger chunk down here. Oh, I might want to sand down our little lamb before we get going too far down there. White Wolf says the line on the paper has you wondering what lines you're doing at times. Gotcha. Yeah. A lot of times I try to keep the reference photo in there for you guys as well, so that you can see where I'm at. And then having my hand on the zone and moving really helps me to make sure that I'm not repeating an area twice or making a mistake. Lisa says the part across the nose looks chunky. Is that because you're needing to blend more? Yeah. I just did an initial sketch in for the nose, so it really needs some more work. And once we get everything kind of in place, then we can go back and adjust. I can already see, you know, we can add more shadows to the eyes, darken up some of the darker zones in the project, push those back, allow the lights to pull forward. So there is a lot more kind of massaging and blending of values, but I think sometimes it's easiest to do that after you get most everything blocked in and you're pretty close, and then just that last little snapshot of minor adjustments for value. Thanks, Mina. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Vivian. Yep, everybody have a great week. I look forward to seeing you guys here next Friday. I'll try to troubleshoot the internet and see what was going on tonight. I don't know. But we'll keep working at it. We're getting there on this guy. We're getting there. All right. I think I'm going to call it there for now. But yeah, next Friday, we'll just jump right back in here. I'll darken this up a little bit more and put in a couple more specific fur zones to block in his face. And then next week, I want to finish blocking in the rest of the muzzle. So we'll get most of the face pretty well blocked in next week. That's the plan. So, alrighty. We'll get these turned off, and I think we're good. Mina, you think you can, you feel like you can pinch the creases. He's a fluffy guy. Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks for all your support, and looking forward to seeing you guys next week. All right. I think we're good. Good night.